welcome everybody to the True Grit podcast. I am Brady Nickel, joined alongside Steve Ivino. Steve, what's up, man?
What's up, guys? How's it going, Brady?
Oh man, fantastic. Been a long week, but we're getting through it. We're at the halfway mark. It's Wednesday, so it's a little different for us doing a show on a Wednesday night. Um,
It is Wednesday. I'm so used to Thursday nights, you
I
know?
know. Well, I think I prefer the Thursday night shows, but let's see. Steve, give me some comms here.
Give you some comms. You can't hear
There you
me?
go. Yeah, now I can. Okay, good. So I was just making sure. Last few times we've had some trouble with the audio. Um,
Yeah.
I think we've got all that worked out now. So should
Give
be
you the old testing, testing, testing.
test 1 2 testes.
Test these. Let's not talk about. Let's not talk about those, dude. I had a vasectomy done on Friday. Let's
Oh
not
no,
talk.
kidding. Oh dude. Well, is that congratulations or?
It is. It is.
Okay,
It's
good.
that second
Congrats. Yeah,
chapter in life. You know, we
yeah.
we we have three kids between the two of us, and we've decided. In fact, she might bring me an ice pack here in a minute. I'm gonna crack up if she does.
Oh.
But but yeah, it is what it is, dude. It's not a bad thing.
You know,
Not a
we
bad thing at all.
we talked about that. Me and the wife, whether it's gonna be me or her, and it just worked out.
Hey,
You know,
I wasn't kidding, dude. She just brought.
let's go, Rob. Hey, that's a woman right there.
I just see an ice
Good
pack going
woman.
through.
Oh man. Well, let's
Oh,
see.
but yeah, dude. Things have been. It's been a weird week, like you said, dude. It's Wednesday. Ready. This is my favorite time of year when it comes to seasons winding down. It's still warm enough outside you can enjoy yourself. The leaves are starting to fall, but dude, World Cup is right here, and
Right around the corner.
if you haven't been, I've been a lot, and if you haven't been, you need to, because it's just an end of year vacation. That's all it is. It's a great time. You get to see your friends, um, and then some, dude. You can like go to Disney afterwards. You can go to the beach. It's a blast, man. And I want to hear your take on it. Have you been to Cup at all, dude, or no?
No, see, I haven't
Yeah,
got to. I'm only like 5 6 years into my
yeah,
paintball story, so I have not got to Cup yet. I've been to a couple NXL events, and they're phenomenal. So
yeah,
I hear
yeah,
it's 2 3 times better than any NXL event you'll ever go
yeah,
to.
yeah. Dude, it's a blast. It's it's unreal. Like you to me, you can forget other NXL moments. Like if you go to Chicago or Texas or whatever, but you go to Cup, I don't know, man. There's just something about it. You don't forget it. And with that, it's almost like I was listening to a podcast today about like through hiking, like
Mm,
hiking the AT, the PCT, the Continental Divide, like all those major trails. And the guy was talking like how you spend 3 months on a trail, you're camping on the trail, you're living on the trail, you come home, you get back into society, and you have trail depression. Like
yeah,
and you have it. I feel like a lot of guys in paintball can relate because you have February, March through, especially for us in Missouri, we're spoiled, right? So you have February, March through essentially December. So you really only have January. Like the off season is after Cup, but like I don't remember ever not playing in
yeah,
the wintertime.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And with that said, though, Cup hits, and I feel like a lot of guys do that. That's your trail depression. That's your seasonal depression
yeah,
because you go from looking forward to something to do every Sunday, right? You're seeing your friends, you're doing your thing. Like you said, I think last episode, your wife is your best friend. Your guy time is on Sundays.
yeah,
Right? And not a lot, and that's actually one of the topics I want to talk about, but like not a lot of guys have friends that they can hang out with outside of paintball, right?
right.
Or outside of their families. Think about the guys like, Richie Burrows. I think he's got like he can fill a school bus with how many kids he has. Like it's hard. It's hard to. I realistically, dude, I think he has 8 kids, but it's hard when you got obligations, and so
Yeah,
that's the topic of today, right? So, True Grit episode 2. This came by request from Daniel Sadowski. Thanks, Danny. But he had a 2-part recommendation or 2-part request, right? And that was One, how do you maintain fitness? Food, weights, exercise, etc. And then how do you maintain your mental health in the off season? Today, and it might even be a 2-part episode because we only have an hour, but today I want to talk about the mental health piece, right? But before we get started, we got to talk about something. I need to thank everybody for the Slow Yak Clinic, dude.
Let's go. We got it
we
filled
got
up.
I'm so happy. So happy. PBN will be there. I encourage, even if you did not sign up to actually play, you guys can come hang out. It's a 1-day clinic. Slowiak, I was talking to him. I think he's just going to come literally for the day. So flying in the morning, fly out at night. He has 3 little girls, so I told him it would make sense if he does that way. Come out and hang out. It's going to be a great time. I convinced Will. Hopefully he has it. I'll talk to him this week. Will should have 2 air stations. It's going to be awesome, man. But I wanted to shout that out.
I can't wait. So October 18th, that's a little over 3 weeks away, 2 weeks away. Gosh, it's October, Steve. It's already here. It's already here, man.
I know.
Year is flying by way too fast. I can't deal with it.
Dude, I'm going to be 44 in fucking March, Brady. Like, what's happening?
God.
I'm getting old.
It's coming, man. It's coming.
Getting old, dude. But I had to shout that out. PBN will be there. Obviously, the 2 of us will be there. I'm trying to convince John Moran from Ruthless to, I don't know if we can make stuff that quick, to have stuff that's branded for both PBN and Grit for that event. I'll talk to him this week. It's going to be pushing it. But
one way or the other, we'll have some PBN
we'll
stuff.
Have something.
Yeah, we'll have stuff.
But be prepared to be interviewed. Be prepared to talk. Right?
Yeah.
We're going to have cameras. We're going to have microphones. Like I said, we're not going to charge you guys to watch. Right? There might be some things you're cut out of. Right? Like when it comes to like Nick working with the teams, obviously I'm not going to want you guys like in those areas where the teams are, but you're more than welcome to come and just hang out and watch. So, dude, I'm stoked.
It's going to be awesome, man. Well, hey, let's touch base with our chat real quick. We got Peyton Hoyt watching. WC in the comment says he's watching on mute. Sorry, fellas. Hey, is there maybe there's closed captions? I don't know. We'll have to, maybe you can see what we're saying.
Yeah.
If not, we'll get that taken care of next time. I didn't even think about people watching on mute, but that's something. Man, Steve, I'm excited for tonight's show because you have a full lineup of topics to discuss on mental health, and it's a big deal in my life that I've been on this journey for over a year and a half working through. So I can't wait to hear what you have to throw at me and throw at our community, and see how we can work through this together.
For sure, and I want participation from the chat too, and I'm sure we only have a couple guys, but it'd be cool. Even for those folks, I'm going to say this for folks that may watch it later and they see this, go ahead and comment on this, right? It'd be really cool to see what people think about this. And, Brady, I know you've dealt with it. You've worked on your own journey. I have as well. And I still, life is a journey, right? And I can tell you, I'll openly say this, and I think I've said this before. I have 2 therapists. I go to therapy twice a week. Huge advocate for it. I'm a huge advocate for a lot of things, mental health. I've recently got into the theradelic approach. I'm actually reading a book right now about psychedelics and how they help mental health, which I don't condone it for anybody underage, just saying. But I am saying that it's probably it's going to be the new normal in a lot of therapy.
I think I saw you shared something on
I did.
line.
I did.
On social.
Yeah, so it's becoming more and more common, especially with your so psilocybin for sure, right? They're exploring options now with obviously ketamine, because ketamine can actually be prescribed. So they're prescribing ketamine and they're prescribing DMT slowly. And what's happening is they're finding that with psilocybin and ketamine that especially people with major depressive disorder and PTSD, they're actually able to rewire the brain and rewire those thoughts to essentially help dissipate those symptoms, right?
Really?
So, with CPTSD, like the shakes, the night terrors, things like that, they can get rid of those.
Yeah.
And I actually, my therapist that I see is one of my therapists. He is 30-year veteran, National Guard. He was a corporal. Um, he studies EMDR, which, if anybody doesn't know what EMDR is, it's a method to rewire your brain in real time. So think of it like going to REM sleep, but while you're conscious. So with EMDR, you'll have a light bar, almost like a kit from Knight Rider. You'll have a light bar and you'll work through your thoughts. And the light bar will go like this, and you follow it, and it's putting you into REM, basically.
Whoa.
And when it does that, then you start working through those negative thoughts. Like, my Humvee was attacked this day. Well, what did that make you feel? Well, I was feel terrified. And you'll break all of that down and rewire it. So it essentially, it's not like a circuit board. You're rewiring your circuit board to look back at that memory and rewire it. So yeah, it's still a bad negative thought, but it's rewiring your brain so that your nervous system's not impacted anymore. So you won't have those night terrors. You won't have those like anxious, if you hear a firework go off, you're not going to go hide under a table. You know what I mean?
That's insane. I didn't even know you could do that.
100%. And if anybody wants to know about it more, especially if you're in Missouri, my therapist that does EMDR is located in Chesterfield. He's not easy to get into, but once you're in with him, like, it's awesome. And he approaches it with a target, just like the military. So he'll say, target 1 is this, target 2 is this, and you'll just work on it every week. Now, why I'm bringing that up, Brady, is this dude is an advocate for psychedelics, and he has patients. I'm not one of them. He does have patients that will take ketamine or take mushrooms and come in and do those sessions.
Yeah.
And he's able to open them up that much more. And it's just insane to me that therapy is there. And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm currently at my journey. I'm exploring more options. I think it's very healthy to do, especially with those post World Cup blues, right?
Yeah.
And I want to spit some facts really quick, dude, and then pause for questions. And that's, dude, I think I sent this to you as well, and it just blew my mind. 80% of suicide deaths are men. 80%.
Yeah.
80.
That's insane.
Dude. They've coined it now. I don't know if you saw that too, but they've coined it the gender paradox. Simply because we're told that we have to be tough, we have to suck it up, we have to move forward. And dude, it's crazy to me. But that also ties into what we were talking about with friends, and then I want to hear your thoughts on this too. And that's 15% of men reported to not have close friends. What do you think paintball does to you after the end of the season, man?
Yeah. Especially guys like me that, all my friends are 3 hours away. I don't get that face-to-face interaction for several months,
Right.
And even now that, maybe a lot of people don't know this, but since I started work on the PBN, I've stepped away from playing almost altogether. I have not been to the field in several months, Steve. So, that just takes me even more out of touch. And so I get it.
So you mentioned your journey, dude. Like, I want to pause there. I just don't want to spit facts and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But, what did you go through, man? Like, what did you go through that put you on your journey? Not in detail, obviously. We're live, and
I'll share, open book. So, I'd say, trying to remember timeline. I guess it doesn't matter, but it's 2-3 years ago when I was heavily involved in my local paintball field. I've told you a little bit about that story with the brick mill, and the owner had some serious medical issues where he couldn't run the field anymore, and I was, again, big part of the field and kind of keeping it going on Saturdays, Sundays, helping him manage everything, mowing, doing stuff like that. Once he went out of commission, I stepped up and started managing the field full time, and of course, along with my other full-time job in construction. So I was working 45 hours a week, doing a very laborious job, and then I would get off work, go home, grab my lawnmower, go mow the field. Or I'd turn around the next day and go weed eat the field, or I'd go build new bunkers, or I'd go, cut trees down at the field. And so I was spending 5 days a week maintaining the field, and then Saturday and Sunday running the field when we'd have customers. And so when you pile that work up over time, it eats at you, it wears on you. Even if it's, I say this a lot, that enthusiasm will get you 90% of the way there. But, that only goes so far, and then you run out of gas. You start running out of steam. And that's what happened to me. I got, the field wasn't making enough money to keep itself running. And so I started to have to dip into my own pockets to keep the field going. And so, of course, that would wear on home life. And at this time, I was smoking a lot of weed, like the vape pens.
Yeah.
And this is, I can tell you, I don't smoke weed, I don't drink alcohol, I don't do anything now. And this is why, because for me, the weed, when I would smoke, sent me into a deep depressive state. I don't know the science behind it. I don't know any of that, but I can tell you that my thoughts were dark. And I can tell you this now, that I am a little bit, in a weird way, afraid to go to sleep at night, because I'm afraid that I won't wake up the next morning.
Holy cow.
And so that has stuck with me since that little bit of a depressive state, for the last 2 to 3 years. Even to this day, I have a hard time going to sleep without the TV on or something, And then once I'm out, it's lights out. It's whatever.
Yeah,
but
some white noise or something.
Yeah, it's just when it's complete silent. It's like, okay, if I turn the TV off, I could be almost asleep and tired, Steve. But if I turn the TV off, I'm wide awake and my thoughts are rolling. Does that make sense? Does that make
100%,
sense?
dude. 100%. You can ask. I should have told her to come in here. I have to sleep with white noise on Spotify on my phone all night. I can't sleep with it silent. I'll go nuts.
Yeah, and so just a little bit of that is when I was at the heaviest that I've ever been. I was like 250 pounds, and I would eat pizzas like twice a night. Them little deep dish pizzas, and drinking 9 sodas a day. Like, it was insane. And
like soda,
like full flavor Dr. Pepper.
Holy cow!
And so that, and then Monsters on top of that, and so my water intake was basically none, and so all that kind of crashed into a one day. I remember this vividly at work. I had to make a choice. I'm either gonna just give up everything now, or I'm gonna do something about it. And so then that's when I kind of found the Chat GPT thing. I know a lot of people probably use that, but I just opened it up and just started pouring my thoughts into it. I don't know why. I just started talking to this thing, and it started spitting facts at me. And the more I started to read, the more I was like, that makes sense. This makes a little bit of sense. And so, I don't know. I guess I kind of use that in a weird way as my therapy, but to me it was just pouring my thoughts out, getting them out of my mind on into something that would.
I actually had this. I want to hear more of your story, but I do want to point out the fact that my other therapist. So I have a talk therapist, for anybody that's probably wondering. I have a talk therapist, and then I have my EMDR guy that's like rewiring my brain. So my talk therapist is just, I talk to her for an hour. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because she and I talked about ChatGPT. That is potentially the future of therapy.
Yeah.
But ChatGPT is not clinical. ChatGPT can't fix an addiction. ChatGPT can't do any of that stuff, right? But what ChatGPT can do, I just used it the other day with Robin and I. We were discussing something. I'm like, I need a way to respond to this, and I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
ChatGPT, right?
Yeah.
So I admire that you did that, dude, because that actually can segue into a conversation after this, and that is, we'll table that conversation, and that's, guys don't know how to ask for help, dude.
Yeah.
But go ahead. So what happened after the whole ChatGPT thing? Did you just kind of start getting answers and putting that into play, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was kind of I was concerned about a few things. Like I'll just tell you this. When I'm not doing construction, I'm usually working on my computer. I'm editing videos. I'm working on website, whatever. Yeah. And so I sit for long periods of time. And I was getting to a point where my feet would start to go numb after sitting for 20, 30 minutes, which is strange. Like, it was kind of a new sensation for me.
Pre-diabetic.
So both my parents are diabetic, and so that was kind of my first thought. I was like, I know my diet's shit right now. Could this be diabetes? creeping up. And so I started asking at that, and I said, yeah, it very well could be. And so that was kind of where I was like, okay, I'm already paying for a gym membership that I'm not using. Like, I might as well start, making it worth the money. And so I re-up my Planet Fitness membership, just jumped in head first. If you know me, I do everything head first. I just dive right into it. Started going 5 days a week at 4 o'clock in the morning for an hour. And I went 5 days a week for 6 months straight, and the transformation was insane. It was a complete 180. Started feeling better. Of course, I was drinking 9, 10, 11 bottles of water a day. I completely cut out sodas. To this day, I don't drink a regular soda. I'll have a diet soda here and there.
Yeah, cleansing your system, basically.
Exactly. And so, that was, I guess, my first with ChatGPT. That was the first thing I was like, oh, this was actually decent advice, the stuff it was saying to me. And so to this day, I will still, if I have a thought that I maybe don't want to talk to my wife about necessarily, or take it to anybody else, I just be like, hey, this is what I got going on. What do you think about it? And it doesn't matter what the answer is to me, Steve. It's the point that I am vocalizing my inner thoughts.
It's no different than doing this, dude. It's no different than journaling every day, right? I think ChatGPT is a little bit better because you're getting that feedback.
Yeah. Now with that, I do think, because I've seen this in other areas, you have to be careful using that platform that you don't over personify what the app is, because it can become too much of a crutch. And I've seen that not with anybody personally, but I've heard some horror stories online of people taking it too far.
Yeah, like people almost treating it. I've heard some weird stories, like people treating it like their girlfriend or boyfriend, like they're Yeah.
Because it will talk to you, and it's weird. It talks to you with a human voice.
Totally.
And it's pretty insane.
Totally. And what people, for those of you that might not have used ChatGPT or any AI tool yet, it gets smarter the more you talk to it, especially the topic you're talking to. For instance, I can go, I think we talked about, I'm going to have another offshoot podcast eventually on Wild and Wonderful about my Tom knows, I'm like a fucking wanderlust. So like my random adventures. And I was trying to get ideas from it. And I can go back to ChatGPT now and keep adding it, and it's going to keep refining what I'm telling you. It's insane.
Yep, it absolutely is, and I've got probably 800 different threads in my ChatGPT log because I'll go from this, and this. Let's see. Dimitri's in here. He says ChatGPT is never judge or disagree with you. Problem is, it will agree with every decision or step you input there. I don't know, Dimitri. I mean, mine doesn't, but I also set rules to mine. I tell it, give me the facts. Don't give me fluff. I don't want fluff.
I actually, I think you probably do the same. But we have similar personalities there. I think, you know how at the end it will say, do you want me to refine this? I'll be, yep, refine it. Yeah. Or no, don't agree with you. Yep. I'll argue with ChatGPT.
I do it all the time. And I'll look for a mix of answers, but I also like to get resources of where it's getting its information, because if you don't know how it works, it's not autonomous. Okay, it doesn't know things. It is scouring the internet very, very fast to gather information from different web pages. Is how it gets its information. So it's just information that's already on the web. But anyways. So there you go. There's my story. That's kind of where I am now. I wouldn't say I'm as strong as I was in the gym, but I still maintain a lot of those things.
It tapers off, dude. I think like most people, right? You hit it hard. You're going at 4 a.m, doing your 1 hour. We all do it. I don't think it's a bad thing worth beating yourself up over, but that's extremely hard to maintain long term.
For sure.
It got you where you are. You probably have a routine now, but you know what you got out of that, dude?
Yeah.
You're not drinking sodas.
Yep.
You're not smoking weed.
Yep.
You're not eating pizzas late at night, right? I just had.
I get you.
You still it's funny, and I want to tie into what you said, dude, about going hard. And you were at the paintball field. This is going to be a 2-part episode, by the way. But how you would go hard at the paintball field after working your day job.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, I had breakout paintball. Dude, I did the same thing. It's in the back of Gateway. It's still there. It's a turf field. Same thing, dude. I was working 40, 50, 60 hours a week. I was traveling for work every other week at that point.
Yeah.
I would come home Thursday night or Friday afternoon, go straight to breakout, set the bunkers up, get the paint there, and I would be there Saturday and Sunday and then go back and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? And I would tell her this, like, dude, that probably was one of the bigger factors that led to my divorce.
Yeah.
Like, I just consumed myself with, I have to work, which as a man and all the guys listening, that is hammered into us.
Mm-hmm.
Provide. Otherwise, you're nothing. You're nothing. Unless you work. Dude, that's false. That's a false statement. Do you still have to provide? Of course you got to provide for your family. But, dude, we don't have to work ourselves to death.
Yeah.
And it's okay to take some downtime, which you probably saw in the last couple of years with the journey you're on, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I know I certainly have. And are we doing podcasts on Wednesday nights and stuff? We certainly are. But you know what? Dude, I was like you, and I realized that. In fact, I'm the same way. Robin just had that conversation with me today because I said, I want to get back to the best shape I was in, which was before I hurt my ACL.
Yeah.
And I want to start playing competitively again. And she looked at me, and she said, I know you. You need to think about this because you're going to want to go semi-pro again, and then you're gone every other weekend. You're spending $20,000 to play at the national events, and we're not going to see each other. She's like, Steve, you're going to be 44 years old. You might want to rethink like where you want to go. It might be cool for you to just do 3 events at D3 and have fun.
Yeah.
Brady, I'll tell the whole audience. I've never thought that way. Like I've always been go. Yeah. I'm going to play competitively again? Semi-pro. Like sometimes you got to take a step back. Because dude, when it becomes not fun, as you can attest to, when it becomes not fun is when your mental health starts taking a shit.
For sure. Yeah, and I didn't even, you mentioned relationships. Like, I didn't even get into that whole side of it when I was doing the field. I mean, it definitely took a toll on mine as well. And, God bless her heart. Like, she understood she understood my vision, even though she didn't see the same thing. She understood that it was important to me. And, it's definitely important to have people like that in your life. But it's definitely something to consider where you put your time and energy.
100%, man. And I think that leads, let's segue from that because I think that, everybody's on their own journey and it sounds like we had something similar. And, we talked about the facts with, 80% of men are part of the suicide rate. 15% of men reported only having close friends or not having close friends. Excuse me. And I started, speaking of ChatGPT and stuff, I started researching, why is it that 80% of men or 80% of suicides are men? And it's interesting because it's coined that gender paradox, right? And when I was researching it, it was that men have more lethal attempts at suicide than women. In other words, men are more prone to go through with it in a more brutal way, like firearm, things of that nature, which is interesting to me.
Yeah.
So essentially it's saying that men follow through. And that's scary, man. And I think that ties into that whole therapy piece, right? And I won't call names out today. I know last week I did. I won't. But we all have friends that have reached out to us who have needed that shoulder to cry on. And I think that would be like the first outlet. Like hit your homies up. Yeah. However, I will say there's only so much your homies can do. And I will also say this, and you can attest to this because I think you've been in the same boat that I have been. Drinking, smoking, that doesn't solve your problem.
Nope.
And I think of the perfect storm. We're in an environment that's mostly dudes. World Cup comes and ends. It's the middle of winter. Holidays hit. All you had was that Sunday of seeing your homies.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Play video games, drink, and smoke. Right? So I'm going back to Danny's initial question and opening up more topics. And again, there probably will be a second part because there's so much more we can talk about. But I personally, and I want to hear what your thoughts are, Brady, and or in the chat, like how his question was like, how do you maintain mental health? Well, to me, it's pretty simple. and that is, obviously exercise, as you learned, right?
Yep.
You don't have to kill yourself, dude. You don't have to go to the gym every
Yeah.
hour at 4 in the
Yeah.
morning. What do you do now? Are you like 30 minutes a day or like every other day, something like that?
No, right now, especially through the summer, I work outside. I have
Just
a
working. Yeah.
very labor
Yeah.
intensive job, so
Yeah.
it's easy to maintain for me through the summertime, just at work. But the diet is something that I have to constantly keep in check. Making sure I'm drinking, gallon and a half of water a day, making sure I'm not smashing the pizzas like I said all the time. So I gotta keep that in check for sure. But
Smashing those pizzas like a Ninja Turtle.
yeah,
Dude.
right. But this is my time of year, and it's actually I actually should have started a couple weeks ago, to where I start integrating gym time back in as it cools off.
So I think that's number one, dude. I think going back to that initial question, you know what we should do? Random thought. We should have like, if we have somebody that asks questions and it's a topic for discussion, we should have it on the screen somewhere.
For sure.
That'd be kind of cool.
For
But
sure.
Going back to that question of how you maintain, I think working out, stay active, right? If it wasn't for my ACL, I would have still been 195 pounds, right? But it happens when you can't bend your knee, you can't do a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think from mid-November to March per se, if you follow the actual season, if you're working out even 3 days a week, I think statistically they say, what is it, like 30 minutes at a time, at a minimum 3 days a week. If you can pull that off and then maintain your diet just a little bit, which sneak peek, that was kind of a second piece of Danny's question. We are working with Marcel Blake from Phoenix Fitness to get you guys kind of a meal plan and a workout plan for the off season, by the way. So we'll talk about that in a different episode, but that is coming. But I think if you can work out consistently and then your diet, which, as you know, dude, like we're real dudes. So talk like real guys. Like
I was
dude,
just gonna say that. I mean,
you're
we're
not
not bodybuilders. We're
Right.
not. We're not trying to do these shows that some of these guys are doing. So why put yourself through that when that's what I'd say 90% of the gym fitness content online is for those type of guys.
Yeah, right. So, and we even said that, right? When I said, hey, I'm going to get Marcel to give us a meal plan and a workout plan, I'm like, but I want to get it to where guys that are watching this can do it.
Yeah.
Let's face it, guys, like we're not Goggins. Like none of us are. So you don't want to have that mindset of like, dude, I'm going to run 60 miles every morning.
Yeah.
Like I have a friend like that. It takes a lot of work to get to that point. And quite honestly, you want to talk addiction, it almost becomes an addiction because once you get up to that level, you can't stop.
Yeah.
You're going to want to run 60 miles a day, every day. And talk about normal dudes. The guy that's like, he's out with his, you have a family, right? I'm sure this happens to you, dude. It's Sunday night. It's 80 degrees outside. Your wife's like, let's go get ice cream. Okay. And what are you doing? You're eating ice cream.
Yep.
It's okay.
Yep.
But hit the gym Monday, hit the gym Tuesday. Don't eat like shit the rest of the week. That ice cream is just going to cancel itself out.
Yep. That's absolutely right. Yeah, and so we go back to talking about how to maintain your mental health in the off season. Well, I think you kind of have to identify what where poor mental health comes from.
Yep.
And I was thinking about this today, and I could sum it up in one word, and that's pain. It's pain points, right? And so that's the driving force that drives people to alcohol, drives people to marijuana, drives people to whatever drug of choice, porn
Yep.
addictions, is that pain, and you're looking for a escape. You're looking for an escape to make the pain go away, take the edge
Working.
off.
Can I keep going? Working. By the way,
Working.
working
Yes.
is an addiction. Working is pain. If you heard Brady and I both say that we were working our asses off, that there's pain in there somewhere.
For
And
sure.
We can get really deep if anybody wants to get personal, but like working too much is a pain and it is an addiction.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So hitting those pain points, and how do we get rid of those? And so for me, and you can tell me what you think about this, Steve, but finding what my purpose in life is has been the most beneficial thing that has ever happened to me.
Dude, I love this.
It's given me so much direction, because before I didn't know what the hell to do when I didn't have paintball, or I didn't have whatever video game I was playing, whatever. I didn't know what to do. But now that I know my purpose, I have a map. I know what I need to do and when to do it. And so, for one, it doesn't matter what it is. If working out's not your thing, fine. If going out to play paintball on the weekends is not your thing, fine. But find something that brings positivity to your life and does not cause detriment to the people around you. That is the biggest thing I think that anybody could do to what's the word I'm looking for, Steve? Bring more positivity to your mental health.
Yeah, it's if you're constantly taking and not giving, it's not good for your mental health. It's almost like you're continuously like siphoning from a gas tank,
Yep.
but not putting that fuel back in.
Yep.
Right. That's going to lead to your mental health. And we, as human beings, as a being, as that lizard brain that we have, we are wired to give and wired to be social. And so if you're continuously just taking and sucking out of life and not giving back some way, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to go work at a soup kitchen every Saturday morning, but as long as you're giving back, you get that fulfillment. That might be the word you were looking for. You get the fulfillment to where you feel good enough to put it back into yourself.
Yeah.
Right now, whole other topic, and we don't have to bring this up at all for further discussion, but people can also do things for that personal gain, only for the personal gain. So you might be giving the people for that selfish gain, and that's not the way to do it. What Brady's trying to say is he found his purpose. His purpose might be video games. His purpose might be grit. His purpose might be PBN, because he gets that fulfillment while producing something for other people.
Yeah.
He's not doing it as like, give me. I'm doing this so I can become a millionaire. Screw you all, you guys. He doesn't.
Yeah, okay. Besides the point, I'll just say this about it, Steve. That is not even in foresight,
right?
Because, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen with PBN, but definitely, I'm with you on that. Is that I saw this as a definite need in the community, a place for some, something for people to gather around, and so yeah, no, that tracks exactly.
Yeah, I want to discuss too. We talked about going back to that initial question on mental health is. You might not be a journaler. Use ChatGPT. I personally journal. I just showed you it. I also if I do journal, and if you do want to journal, this is like $5 at Walmart, and I always get a hardcover. Always, because hardcover, this goes with me everywhere, right? Everywhere, honestly. And she'd probably get mad if I told you, but like, she accidentally read this one day, and I was like, hey, like, you read something in there, like, that's on you, not me. Like, I journal everything.
Yeah.
And I think everything. Every morning, like, I have a routine, right? And routine's big. That is one thing. And Brady, you're going to agree with me here.
Yep.
If you guys really want to know some kind of core things to do to maintain mental health, especially in the off season, routine, right? Routines do change, but routine for sure. And it can be as simple as I don't know how you do it because I know you work in construction, but I work from home. So I make sure that I'm always up before 6 o'clock. Alarm set for 5:30, but I'm out of bed by 6, if that makes sense. So I don't beat myself up. It's like, damn it, dude, you weren't up at 5:30. It's more or less of got up before 6. Hell yeah, dude. And then I have until 7:30. So I have an hour and a half to work out, meditate, and journal. Yeah. And I do that by 7:30. At 7:30, I start working.
Yeah.
And that's every day, dude. On the weekends, I let myself cheat, right? Every now and then. Wednesdays is my cheat day too during the week, depending on how I feel, especially when I'm here. Because let's face it, guys, it's hard to roll over and see your wife or your girlfriend and be like, damn, I just want to lay in bed.
Yep.
Like, so Wednesday, I cheat one day a week, and that's on Wednesdays where I'll roll over and I'll see the back of Robin's head, and I'm like, I'm sleeping until 6:30. You know?
There was a time, Steve, when 6:30 was insane to me. It was, at least 12 o'clock, Yeah. 1 p.m. I was out of bed.
And I'm sure there's guys listening that feel that same way. Dimitri. But, yeah, I have to say it, dude. I get on his ass all the time. That dude will sleep until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But, yeah. And, dude, that's not good for you, man. That's not good for your mental health. And, like, if I sleep till 8:30 on Saturday or Sunday, dude, I'm like, what happened? Like I slept in. But again, I typically only do it when she and I are together because I'm like, I have the chance. I can, dude. You can relate. I'm on the go 6 days a week.
Yeah.
So God forbid on Sunday morning I sleep till 8:30.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't like this about my schedule right now, but with all the work I'm doing on PBN and Grit, I spend a lot of late nights at the computer. And so for me, 8:30 is about my norm on the weekends. Of course, I'm up by 7 through the week, but I can't wait to get back to that point where I can be, up at 4:30, hitting the gym, in bed by 8 o'clock. 'Cause that's where that was my favorite schedule. That was my favorite schedule that I had, and I got plenty of sleep. I got a good workout every day, and I felt at my my personal best was at that sleep schedule. So
when you have that schedule, man, it helps. So I think the two, because we're gonna have to go to a part 2 on this, because I want to see if there's any questions or anything. But working out for sure, having some consistency in terms of like a routine. If you are into journaling, journal. If not, use ChatGPT. It helps, guys. For some of the younger guys out there, I think some of the older guys already get this, but for some of your younger guys, don't use your girlfriend as your therapist. Please do not do it. Don't do it. You can be vulnerable. There's a difference in being vulnerable, which I think we'll talk about in next week's episode, but there's a whole difference in being vulnerable and telling her how you feel versus like, oh, work sucks. I hate this. My friend's an idiot. They don't want to hear that shit, dude. Period. We'll talk about that next week. So journaling, ChatGPT, friends, working out, some type of routine, and then diet. Brady touched on it, man. Like if you're drinking Mountain Dew today, stop.
Yeah.
And watch what happens. Just you don't have to quit the vaping. You don't have to quit the weed. Like just quit drinking soda and see what happens.
And I'm not a scientist. I don't know all the science behind it, but I know that your stomach has like micro neurons in it that, depending on the type of food that you eat, will actually affect your mood.
Yes.
So I may do some research on that and bring that up next week. But
you should, dude. You should. I know carbs. I just had half of a Domino's pizza, so I'm not speaking. But you can But however, I will justify it for those of you that are like, oh, you guys are talking about diet. I also had a butternut squash and quinoa bowl for lunch. So I'm like, hey, I can cheat a little bit because I had 300 calories for lunch.
Yeah. Do as I say, not as I do.
Plus, another topic for an episode is like learn your body. Just because and I'll call him out. Just because Marcel Blake is going to tell you do this, doesn't mean your body's going to be receptive to it.
For sure. Yeah, and guys, with all this that we're talking about, by no means are me and Steve perfect. We are working through the shit. We're just telling you stuff that has worked for us, that continues to work for us.
And I'm gladly able to talk to anybody. I come across super passionate sometimes, and I don't want to be preachy, because God forbid, guys, every day I struggle. Believe me, there's so much more I'm not telling you because we're on live TV. But I struggle on a daily basis. I'm just telling you what's starting to work for me and what has worked for me.
Yeah.
And every day is a journey.
Yeah.
So, we have any questions, man? Anything?
Let's see.
Besides Dimitri talking shit?
He said, nope, he's up at 9 a.m. He's got classes. Let's see. Peyton says tracking meals with an app really helps. Absolutely. That's one way to do it. MyFitnessPal was a huge lifesaver for me. Scan the barcode and it has all the macros and different things with it. Let's see. WC, he says Michaela Brooks was a paintballer, took her life a few years ago. They had a moment of silence at NXL event. Real cool person, loved playing with her.
Yep. It's sad to see, dude. It's sad to hear, and that's why I got chills, right? And I don't think anybody listening I'm not going to say nobody takes it seriously because everybody does, but it drives me nuts on the whole other topic, but it drives me nuts how we make mental health almost taboo like porn, right? Well, not anymore. I think porn's very mainstream, but you know what I mean? Back in the day, back in the 50s and 60s, which sidebar, super quick. If you guys are watching porn and stuff every day, stop. See what that does to your mental health too, by the way. I'm serious. Test yourself out. Don't do it for a week and see what happens. But so I feel like, you had the 50s and 60s where if you had ADHD, dude, they put you in an asylum. And so I think you fast forward that to now, nothing has really changed. Mental health care is terribly, terribly expensive. I just had a friend of mine ask me about therapy. And I'm like, yeah, I spend like $100 a week times
Yeah.
two. So I'm spending $200 a week. So when I say like I'm going to therapy, guys, like it's not for everybody, simply because it's not cheap,
Yeah.
right? But it sucks, dude. It sucks to hear that like a fellow paintballer, like she took her life. All she probably needed to do was talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And dude, that just frustrates me. And I hope we might hit it at a small scale, man. But like, I hope we can do that through our platform.
Yeah. Yeah, and we talked about this last week, and this is on my to-do list to set up a page that you can anonymously leave comments for us if you want to, or if you have a hard topic you want to discuss or something personal in your life that you don't want a name attached to it, that you can drop it to us and we can discuss it here on the channel. I think that'd be a really important thing for us to do, Steve.
I do like that. I do like that. Yeah, and we can about the topic thing, I do really like that. And I think you said this, but it's fully anonymous too. I don't condone giving out somebody's business. You know what I mean? I'll openly talk about mine. I think Brady will too. Like I'll openly tell you about my business. I really will.
Yeah.
With respect to my children, but like I'll tell you, like we'll talk relationships, all types of stuff. Like I'm gonna open book with that stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's important because I'm not gonna call anybody out, but I got a phone call last night. One of my best friends looking for some serious relationship advice. And I think that's a whole episode on its own.
Yeah.
But,
yes. And it was on my topics for today, but that might be a whole 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I saw your agenda for tonight, and I was like, that's gonna be that's a lot.
Well, but you know what? It kickstarted us though, dude. Like I think we probably have like 3 episodes out of the content I put together.
Let's go. Hey, we'll keep it going. So, yeah. All right. Well, let's see. Anybody else in the comments before we sign off?
I can't believe we don't have like a Tom.
Where's Tom at? He's probably playing Helldivers.
I
don't know. He's been pretty active in the snapshot group lately. So let's see. How do you all find motivation? What motivates you two guys?
Honestly, I wish I could call her in here, but I have 3 kids, one of which is not mine, and I can tell you, and she's younger, and that's why I love my kids dearly. Tom's on mobile, by the way. He just texted me.
Cool.
I love my kids, my biological kids, dearly. But Violet is my bonus kid. She's 9 years old. And seeing her smile and hearing her tell me she loves me, that's a motivator. As cheesy as that sound, that's a motivator.
Not cheesy at all.
She's 9. She's 9. And she's just seeing her, man, like it's awesome. But outside of that, like if you stripped it, I do like to think about this. If you would strip away that, always have hope. That should be your motivator.
Yeah.
Right? There's always hope. I'm going to get through this. This isn't permanent. Because nothing is, guys. Like, if you look at your life like that, nothing is permanent.
Yeah.
Nothing you're doing today, like, it's not going to be the same for 80 years.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah.
And so having that mindset of there's hope, I'll get through this, right? But if you want to think like more on the surface with give me some motivation, my family, I went through a hard time. I was divorced after 15 years with somebody. The last 4 years has been hell, to say the least. I'm on the upside of that. I put a lot of work into myself mentally, and now I am with probably the best partner I could ever ask for. And my motivation, friends, my motivation's like developing my tribe. That's important to me. That's a whole other thing we should talk about too, dude. Like having a tribe. And then little things. I don't know if Brady does this, and I want to hear if Brady does this, and I can go a couple minutes over too, man. But like being grateful for things. When you journal on a daily basis, guys, and I don't know who asked this question, but when you journal, I was grateful for that caramel latte yesterday. I was grateful for that badass donut I had at Krispy Kreme. Like, dude, be grateful for it. I was grateful that my wife said thank you for doing the dishes. Yeah. If you do that every morning, there's your hope. There's your motivation right there. Like, dude, I'm grateful for shit.
I'm going to have to start adding that one. That's something I never really thought about, but it makes sense. You know, you really do take a lot for granted when you don't at least take the time to recognize the things you're grateful for. That's
Dude,
huge.
let me say this because I want to hear your thoughts really quick, but I'll call Tom out. Tom invited me to help him paint the nursery, I think, like a week ago. And Tom will tell you, like, what was my response? I'm like, hey, dude, so grateful that you reached out and asked me, but like, I'm going up to see Robin. But like, really means a lot that you asked me. Like, I'll tell my friends that. And it did. Like, dude, that meant fucking Tom could have asked, and he probably did. But like, I was probably one of the 5 people he asked, and that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You should be. That's the stuff. If you practice gratitude for that stuff, there's your motivation rate.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let me touch on this a little bit, Peyton. That was Peyton that asked that question, by the way. Motivation for me is summed up into one word, and that is why. Why do I care? Why do I put so much effort into the things that I'm doing? What is my why? What is my why? And for me, it has to be specific. Let me get that clear. It has to be a specific reason for why you do things. For me, I want financial freedom so that my family has a comfortable and sustainable life, that we don't have to worry about bills, taxes, whatever it is, right? And that we can have, again, the financial freedom to use that to go make memories with each other. So that is my driving force for why I do the things that I do. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about the PBN. It doesn't matter about grit. It's all for that. That's my motivation.
That's a good one. That comes along those same lines as gratitude, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, if you can find your why, because like, dude, I don't love my job. Why do I do it? So I can go to the Sawtooth Mountains in Idaho and see the most beautiful alpine lake and jump in it on a Saturday night. I have done that, by the way. So like, that's why I do what I do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So it's huge. Good question, Peyton. All right, Steve, you got anything else tonight, brother? I know we're gonna come back to this.
We probably have 2 more episodes, honestly, just on like these topics.
Yeah.
I think what we can do next week is like, let's wrap up. We could probably wrap up the mental health piece next week. But I think I want to tie that into like probably a relationship episode, man, if you want to.
Yep.
And then, dude, I think we should do the fitness one with Marcel. Like, not with Marcel, but kind of like what we can do physically and talk about. We talked about some of that today, but I think, and I want to hear feedback from listeners too, but I think touching on relationships, not just with a significant other, a female, but friends, family, talking about those relationships and how that can impact you. That could probably be next week's episode. And then we go from there.
Yeah. Oh, I think it'll be huge. And I'll try to get that I don't know what I was calling it, that page, so that you guys can drop comments and topics for us this weekend, so that way we can start rolling it out, and maybe I'll make a post, and so you guys can get it in before next week's episode if you have questions.
Hey, and tell your friends, guys, like, I know right now we're like paintball community, but we're on the True Grit, like, we're talking random stuff here. So it'd be cool to like see some new listeners.
Yeah, I know we haven't really talked about this a lot, Steve, but I want to be clear that the True Grit podcast is its own show. We're calling it Powered by Grit or Powered by PBN because that's the channel that it's going to be produced on primarily. But the True Grit podcast is exactly what it says it is. It's all mental health, physical health, relationships. And then paintball's mixed in. Like, that's why we're all here. But you get all the good stuff.
That's the foundation that got us where we are. Hopefully we'll catch more things. But I am curious, like, if you guys want topics, you have questions, fully anonymous. We won't bring up names. You can even, I think Brady's going to make it anonymous, so we won't even know your name to begin with.
Yeah, unless you want us to. But I mean, there'll be an option, but it's not going to be a required thing. So. All right. Well, it's a great episode, Steve.
Dude, another one. Like, let's just keep this ball rolling.
Yeah, we're killing it, man. We're killing
super
it.
stoked.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna roll the PBN trailer here and let you guys, if you guys haven't seen that. Oh, like and subscribe to the channel. I know some of you guys still haven't done that. I don't know why, but you keep coming back for some reason. So you might as well subscribe, turn the notifications on, and share the videos. And other than that, we will see you guys sometime next week. Probably next Wednesday.
let's shoot for next Wednesday unless Robin miraculously has her surgery.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's shoot for next Wednesday.
Yeah. Last thing, that just reminded me. So the reason we're not doing Thursdays is my kid has soccer games on Thursdays, and I'm not going to miss my boys' games. So hope you guys can understand that. We're still trying to pump these episodes out. That way we can still hang out. But after October, we're going to try to get back to our Thursday night schedule and
for sure
and go on there. So, all right, guys. Steve, have a good night, brother. We'll talk to you later.
See you guys.
All right. Bye.
See you.
Introducing the future of paintball. This is PBN, where our battles, our triumphs, and our stories live. A platform built for the players and the fans. Live tournaments, exclusive content, the game brought to you the way it was meant to be seen. The highlights that matter most, not just the pros, but you, your team, and the rivals you face across the field. Every breakout, every clutch moment.
The first time I played, my story's a little bit different.
The film room. Search your rivals, study their moves. Every match is archived. Winning is at your fingertips. The platform. The highlights. The film room. This is the future of paintball. This is PBN.